lot, but VA does, if veterans are living on tribal lands, the VA does provide VA home loans for those veterans living on tribal lands. That's kind of a different situation because if they default on the loan, of course, the government can't take back a home on tribal lands. Right. So there are some additional qualifications.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever talked about these types of specific types of loans.
No. Like I say, this is something we don't deal with a whole lot, but I wanted to make sure and put the information out there that it was available, and there are some additional qualifications, that type of thing, for someone to get into those type of loans, but they are available.
That's good.
Okay.
Good information.
Yeah. And as you can see, we covered a wide range of topics.
How long were you there?
All week.
All week, okay.
All week, yes. From 8 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock at night.
All right.
And then we talk shop afterwards.
Do you want to take a little break and let's see what Chris might have to announce, and we'll come back to you? Is that okay? Because I think, Chris, do you have some announcements today?
Well, sure.
All right.
Sure.
One of the first things I want to bring up is about CalVet and the Vet Fund. They're going to host a Women's Veterans Leadership Conference that's going to be it's going to be down in San Diego. And there is a website you can go. I would, love to find, a female veteran that we could nominate from Lake County that could represent us. There's a lot of female veterans in this community that are doing wonderful things. And so if you're interested in that, if you go to calvet.ca.gov, you can find the information about the Women's Conference. And that's going to be in September 25th through 27th in San Diego. But there's deadlines. The opening is May 21st till July 19th to register for someone for that.
Well, let me ask you a question, not to put you on the spot, but just for the sake of clarity. Are you suggesting that the California EDD might be able to financially sponsor someone to represent Lake County?
Well, it's not a financial burden. What it is you submit a package about a veteran, and they go through all the packages, and then if they qualify, they'll bring them down to San Diego, and they represent the female veterans.
Oh, will they fly them there?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, okay, that's what I meant by support.
Right.
Yeah, someone may be willing to go, but it's an airline ticket, it's hotel stay, it's whatever
No, absolutely, and it's all about the different services and different things that are out there for female veterans and getting the recognition out there. I also wanted to talk about, there are the stand-down stuff starting to come out, about all the flyers and stuff for stand-downs. I got one just the day before yesterday about Placer County, in September. So just start looking out again, and for those of you guys that don't know what a stand-down is, I mean, it's like one-stop shopping, basically. Any kind of services you need are there. I know for veterans that have the legal issues, we have a judge that comes and they go to Dixon. Dixon is the one that we use for veterans, and we actually have a bus that goes down to Dixon, and we have a lot of stuff lined up for that. So just know that those are going to be coming up in August, September, October. So those are going to be coming up really soon.
So you'll be announcing specifics as they come.
Absolutely, but just know that those are coming up and those are out there. One of the things that's recently come up from EDD on my side as well is one of the local businesses here in the county has agreed that any veteran that's looking for work and they come into our either Workforce Lake or come and see me at EDD, and for instance they need a haircut because they're looking to get jobs, they're going to do haircuts for veterans for free. And nice. So you just need to come into the office for us and and let us know that you're looking for work, and we can get you like a voucher. And again, it's one of the local businesses that are trying to show their support for veterans. So
what a nice, what a great idea. Now, Chris, this is probably a good time for you to give your phone number.
Okay, yes. My phone number is 262-3111. Again, that's 262-3111. And I'm located on 55 First Street here in Lakeport. On Tuesdays, I actually work at the VA clinic as well, there in Clear Lake. So try to service veterans on both sides of the lake. So I did talk about last time we came on here as well, the quarterly vet fair we're going to start doing.
Right.
And I don't have the exact date yet, but it's going to be towards the end of July. And we have 4 employers that have agreed to come right now. So we're just setting up the specifics of that. But these employers are going to be open to jobs up to only for veterans. So veterans can come in and we're, like I said, we're going to do this on a quarterly basis.
Cool.
And these are employers that actually have jobs available.
Absolutely. It's not just passing out information, and they're more of the Calpine, the higher end jobs as well, and not just, I mean, every job is a job, but we want to have career jobs.
Sure.
And so we're looking at, the veterans that have come into the offices, what have they been looking for? And so trying to capture the most dynamics for all the veterans that come in through the door.
Good. Great. Good news.
So, continuing on, our EDD office and Workforce Lake offer a variety of different classes that are free of charge. And that includes from doing a resume, doing cover letters, doing interview tips, mock interviews, creating an online resume, career exploration, how to search for the jobs online, how to find them. So again, all these classes are free of charge. So if you're interested in any of that kind of stuff, just come to 55 First Street in Lakeport, EDD or Workforce Lake, and we'd be more than happy to get you enrolled and get you started on that.
Good.
Another thing that just happened recently was there's been quite a few veterans that have come into my office that one of them he had surgery on his foot, and the VA gave him one of the walkers with the wheels on it with the handles and brakes, and they paid for it, and he's done with it now, and he's like, what do I do? What do I do with this stuff? So going on to what Vet Connect, and every second Wednesday of the month is in Clear Lake, and the third Wednesday of the month is here in Lakeport. Mm-hmm. But a lot of that kind of stuff we give back out to veterans. So this veteran said, what do I do with this? He brought in, it's brand new, and so we're gonna Vet Connect, what they do is they capture that stuff and give it back to other veterans that are in need.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Resurface. So veterans, if you guys are wanting to help out other veterans or needing to do that kind of stuff, just contact Bob Penny, Dean, myself, Frank Parker, and we can help get that stuff out to the veterans.
Good.
For sure.
Okay, Dean, you got anything on?
Well, I've been kind of waiting to see what Bob had up his sleeve here with his 1 week.
Well, we can go right back to Bob.
But there is one topic I want to make sure we talk about, and I wanted to see if it's on your agenda, and that's the Affordable Care Act and how it affects veterans.
It was not on our agenda last week.
Well, it will be now. The Affordable Care Act is it's federal law, and it takes effect. The enrollment period begins in October. There are currently 11 to 13 health plan companies that are signed up for the state of California, and the Veterans Health Administration is not one of them. And it's important for veterans to understand that the Veterans Health Administration satisfies all the criteria for the Affordable Care Act. And this is critical that the VA get informed and get them put on that list so that veterans don't mistakenly think they need to get private health care, when in point of fact, the VA healthcare system covers it.
Good.
This is very important.
Yeah, because there's going to be a lot of information coming out. I think it will be very confusing, so that's a good point. And we do have a caller. Caller, you're on the air.
Yes, I want to address an issue with the VA. Out in front of the VA is a crosswalk, and Dean's very well over it. And I see Olympic there, on Olympic, the city's painting stripes on their crosswalks on Olympic Drive right now. I don't know why the city can't go in and paint the stripes on that crosswalk in front of the VA clinic there, because it's a dangerous crosswalk there, but they're doing it on Olympic there where the police station is on their street, but they're not even bothering with this with Lakeshore, where it's up there by in front of the clinic there. So I know that needs to be addressed with the city because it's not being done over there, and that's like crosswalk. You can't even see it no more, you know, man.
Yeah,
they're painting them other ones over there right now with big yellow stripes. You know, that's what they should do. Is the one over there by the clinic.
Maybe it might be on the work list. If it isn't, we should get it on it.
Yeah, if it's not on the list, we need to check with Public Works.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know, maybe that misinformation about the travel pay there in San Francisco, you might want to announce that, Dean, the cutoff point on that was misinformation that was given out to the veterans about no travel pay. That it was, remember that one guy was saying that there's travel pay there? I don't know, you might want to announce that to the guys.
We're still not clear on that.
Maybe they better not announce it because it may not.
Exactly.
There's so much, people say one thing, but it's always something else. You know?
We need to get the information from the VA.
Yeah, no one's ever on the same page. It seems like that's the thing. People say one thing, and then you relay what someone says, and it's something that's not even true. That's how these rumors start, and that's how everybody gets ticked off about things that aren't true. And that's what happens with a lot of the veterans. Is one veteran tells another veteran something that's not even true, and he goes along with the being the gospel because veterans seem to trust each other as far as what they say, and sometimes those guys are playing games with each other. You know what I'm saying? It happens a lot with veterans. Veterans are kind of disrespectful to each other sometimes because they got problems. You know, I don't know.
Well, there is a communication issue with the VA on this particular component. We've been told that they're not doing cash travel pay, and that veteran's saying that they are.
Right.
And we don't really know for sure.
Well, I think
either way.
The thing is, in each person, I find that each person is individually different too. I find that in the system, I've had the same issue with travel pay, and they say, why? What are you doing here? You know, and why are you even here? You know what I'm saying? So I mean, you know, the thing is with the VA, they say one thing, but they question what you're doing.
Well, I think where we're at here, Steve, is that. Are you volunteering, Dean, to look into this with VA? Or
Dean kind of volunteers himself. I'm not trying to put. He wants to work on that flag, that POW flag out there that's falling apart. And he wants to work on a crosswalk out there. He's all over the map.
Yeah.
You know, the poor guy.
You know, it's a labor of love. I know.
Yeah, Dean's a good man.
But I think one of the important purposes of this show is to get accurate information out.
Right. That's the thing. That's the whole key is accurate information. And the thing is, that's what a lot of information that sometimes is relayed is not even accurate, and that's what causes all the aggravation with everybody because then it just makes everybody mad and they don't even want to deal with anything anymore.
So, gentlemen, what would you offer as advice if people want to know what the actual answer is to the question of whether or not they do cash payments for travel?
Ordinarily, I'd say call the travel office, but some of this information has come out of the travel office, so
but I
don't know.
I think you need to go directly to the director of the hospital or Vision 21 with this issue.
Probably.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to let you guys get back to your show.
Yeah. Thank you for
Thanks, Steve.
For
You're welcome.
bringing that up. Appreciate it.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, that's part and parcel of why this show exists and why it's important is to get accurate information out to folks. And you guys give your phone numbers out all the time, so you are a resource if anybody has a question.
Well, the fact of the matter is that we've been told by the VA that they are no longer doing cash travel pay.
Right.
But we're getting input from other veterans that they are. So, you know, we got to find out one way or another from the very people that already told us they're not doing it.
Yeah, and I've talked directly to the travel office myself and been told there is no more cash payments.
Yeah,
so
it might have been a transition period or something. I mean, okay.
I can't answer that.
All right.
But I'm going to find out Monday because I'm going to be down there getting my travel pay.
All right, there you go. Okay. So you did volunteer.
I'll hold them up by the ankles if I have
to. I think you're just the guy to go and root out the real answer here. Okay. All right.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, just to say, the Affordable Care Act, this is extremely important for veterans to understand, is that they qualify. If they're enrolled in the Veterans Health Administration, then they qualify under the Affordable Care Act, and they don't need to be looking for any other health plans.
Okay. That's a good message.
Conversely, for the veterans that are not in the Veterans Health Administration, they may want to reevaluate where they're getting their health care. Rather than enroll in a private system, they may be eminently qualified to go into the Veterans Health Administration.
Okay.
So it may be more cost effective to do that than to enroll in a private system.
But they have to qualify. That's to get into the VA medical system.
Agreed.
So that makes it a hardship sometimes.
Oh, yeah, because you may not qualify, but it's certainly worth looking into.
Oh, yes, most definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
Most definitely.
All right, so back to your report.
Back to our report. Okay. On women veterans. They were given the fact that 20% of the military force are women veterans. That's a huge percentage. It used to be when Dean and I were not him, I won't count him, but when Dean and I were in, the percentage of women in the military was maybe 1%. But now it's growing steadily of women going into the military. It's a great place to go, get that experience, get trained at a position, and get the experience at that position. And, there's no better place for it.
Patriotism is not gender specific.
Yes.
Good.
So they were saying also that women are 4 times more likely to be homeless.
Yes. I've heard that.
In my experience with a lot of women veterans is that they don't consider themselves veterans. Well, they say, well, I never left the country. Well, that doesn't matter. That has no bearing on anything, on any benefits that they're entitled to.
A lot of the misconceptions that I get that people come into my office is they had a general under honorable discharge, or they had a under than honorable, which is not an honorable. It is not a straight dishonorable discharge. So any veteran has served 1 day of service. There's benefits out there, and maybe not the medical side of it. Maybe there is general under honorable. There are some that allow you to get medical benefits. Now, with that, there's all kinds of educational programs. There's all kinds of the homeless veteran programs that if you have 1 day of service that you can qualify for. So the key is just asking. If you don't know, just ask.
Yes.
So 4 times more likely to be homeless, and the reason for that, you said, is they don't consider themselves veterans?
Correct. That's one of the biggest things. Also,
but basically they come out of the service and for one reason or another don't mainstream with jobs and
correct.
Other opportunities that are out there.
Exactly. That's the biggest problem.
Wow.
That's the biggest problem. Like I say, and like Chris was saying, sometimes they come out with maybe a general discharge, or I've seen women that have been molested in the military and come out and get a general discharge, which is totally wrong, and then they come out and they don't feel like they have any benefits coming, because of what they went through in the military, and they've been beat down by the military, and they come out and then don't feel that they're entitled to benefits.
That's a shame.
And that goes back to the VA breaking down the claims, the different types of claims that we're talking about, and those are the ones that take a lot longer to get fixed. But again, that's the stuff that needs to be fixed, and that's the stuff that's all over the news right now about all the traumas. And so, the VA is recognizing it. Now it's just a matter of we need to make sure that when somebody does come forward, that we get them to the right place and get them
and get the word out that there is help there. And,
exactly. Yeah. And like what's his face over there was saying, Chris. Like Chris was saying, I like to give him a bad time. Anyway, but like Chris was saying, don't do nothing. Come in and ask. Yeah. You never know until you ask. Many times, I just had a young veteran come in. He served 2 tours in Iraq, came back, had problems from PTSD, and because of the problems, they gave him an other than honorable discharge. Okay, that is not an automatic bar to benefits in the VA system. if the majority of his service or her service even is, we can show that it was honorable, the VA will accept that as honorable service, and he will be, or she will be, entitled to benefits.
And, you know, the other side is I had a veteran with 16 years of service that got, in 14 years he reenlisted. And in year 16 mark, 2 years later, he got another than honorable. And he was still eligible for his GI Bill because of his 14-year mark. Right. So he had an honorable discharge. He didn't have his DD-214, but he had his honorable discharge. So we were able to go back to that date.
Right.
He had no idea. He just assumed everything was lost.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so there's all kinds of little things that, you know, our offices do that you know, we're always willing to help and willing to look into.
So the main thing is to get to you guys. And on that note, we do have a caller, and we're down to about 2 minutes. But go ahead, caller.
Okay, this is Joe Fernandez from Upper Lake. And again, I want to just thank Bob and all the guys that you have there today, how well job they do explaining everything to help the veterans. I'm a veteran from the 101st Airborne Division. And I just think for a community like this that we are so blessed to have people like that just look out so more than 110% for the veterans. So again, I just want to state how grateful I am, and I'm sure a lot of veterans are too, to our advisors that give us help here in Lake County.
Well,
so,
thank you.
Thank you all have a blessed day, and
You're
I
very
really
kind.
And thank you for your service. Thank you for your service and for recognizing these great gentlemen here. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Let's close on a note that the Department of Defense and Veterans Affairs are going to be reevaluating a lot of their past work, because the fact of the matter is women veterans have gotten the short end of the stick for decades. And this current, what's going on in Congress now regarding military sexual traumas is the tip of the iceberg. There were 23,000 personality disorder discharges, which were incorrect. And those are going to get reevaluated. Yeah. And there's a number of circumstances that maybe when the VA gets done with their backlog, they'll be able to readdress some of these past, frankly, discriminations.
Well, it's high time. And on that note, I will bid you all good day. Thank you for coming. And we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yep.
So stay tuned for Straight Talk with the Sheriff.
KPFZ is grateful for the underwriting support of Angelina's Bakery and Espresso. Angelina's Bakery has a full espresso bar, fresh baked pastries, and a lunch menu with items made from scratch. They also offer ice cream, milkshakes, blended coffees, and Italian sodas. Open every day except Sunday. Angelina's Bakery and Espresso, 365 North Main Street in Lakeport.
Ads and